Hello and welcome. This is Learn British English Free on YouTube and Facebook. My name is Chris. I'm an English teacher in Cambridge in the UK. This is a lesson requested by user UMissy on the internet. Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone else who has sent me suggestions for lessons. I'm working my way through them. The focus of this one then, as requested by UMissy, is to look at a short story with vocabulary. And for this, I've chosen to use one from the British Council website, which I'd like to show you by sharing my screen. So I'm going to try and do that for you now. Then I'll talk you through the vocabulary matching exercise at the beginning and read the story. It's going to take a while. We have a bit to do. So let's get cracking. Here we go. Let's find the website. I'm hoping you can see this. Here we are. What I'd like to do is show you, this is the British Council main website you can see here, which you can find on the internet. And they have many short stories you can use at different levels. They are not always that interesting, to be honest, but there are many, so you might find some which you like. Some people, it's not their cup of tea, as we say. Others might like it. If you like stories like I do, then you probably find something that you enjoy in here. I go to General English and Story Zone. Now I've chosen one which is in the, you see they're categorized by level as well. And they actually have the same, a lot of them, they have the same stories, but they grade them. So they do pretty much the same stories, but, oh, look at me there going crazy on the video. There's a problem with the picture, I think. Anyway, you look at the stories here, then if I go to the higher level B2C1 stories, you'll see the same ones. So you can even choose the story that you like with the correct level. I was going to choose Devils in the Details B2 to C1. Let's try this. They have all the information here on the internet, but you can also download it. So let's have a quick look. We've got the Devils in the Details and this picture here. The synopsis or summary is: a mysterious salesman knocks at Victoria's door and offers her a deal to solve all her problems. Will she give in to temptation, or is the price too high? What are the instructions? Do the preparation task first, then read the text and do the exercises. That seems manageable. Okay. Another thing you can do here is download it if you prefer. Yes, download the worksheet, and it looks like this if you want to do it that way. But the one on the internet is quite interactive, so let's go back to that. Preparation. This is about vocabulary. You have I think they have 8 bits of vocabulary here which appear in the story that they want us to check first, and they have the definitions here, so we need to match them. Let's have a look then. Time that never ends, to disappear suddenly, to close and open one eye quickly, to show that something is funny or secret. A period of unlucky experiences, that would be my life. A doctor who does medical operations, something in an extremely happy way. A row of posts with a bar on top at the side of the stairs. Able to solve problems quickly and find solutions to practical problems. There are quite a few actually, but there are 8. So it's hard for me to explain, so I'm just going to go through and do it. A time that never ends is eternity. No, that's disappointing. Can't seem to get it to match properly. Oh, there we go. You click on it, then you click on the place you want it to go. To disappear suddenly. To close an open eye, that's to wink, as you can probably imagine. A period of unlucky experiences. I'll give you a second. What do you think this is? That's right, it's a run of bad luck. This one should be quite straightforward as a surgeon. In an extremely happy way, blissfully. He taught the lesson blissfully. A banister is the thing on the side of the stairs. Actually, it'd be quite interesting to show you a picture of it. Oh, hang on a minute. A banister there. Resourceful, solving problems a lot. Let me go to the internet and show you banister. like that. That's a better one. Handrail is another term we can use for that. That explains it quite well, I think. Right, we've done the vocabulary. Oh, got a pop-up here. Get rid of that. Now let's read the story. Yeah, it's called Devils in the Details. Let's have a look then. The knock at her front door came just as Victoria was about to open it, even though, strangely, she'd heard neither the lift nor anyone on the stairs. She balanced on one foot while she put on her other shoe, slipping on piles of unopened bills. She was late to work for the third time this month, and now she had a visitor. Great. She opened the door and forced her mouth into a smile she hoped said, "I'd love to chat, but sorry, I can't." "And how are we today, Victoria?" the man at her door asked. "Good, I hope. If not, I bring you an eternity of warmth and best wishes from the wonderful director of my company." Victoria's smile vanished. How did he know her name? "You know how I can be so sure? I am the wonderful director of my company," he said, winking. "I'm sorry," said Victoria. "I'm in a rush. I'm late for work." Time, he clicked his tongue. That's what they all want. Time or happiness. Which one would you like more of? "Listen, really," said Victoria. "I'm not interested. Sorry." "We've got a special offer on," he replied. 25 years of extra life in exchange for eternity. Or, he smiled widely, double your happiness for the same price. Price, she repeated, despite it being far from the strangest part of his sentence. "Yes, it's a fixed price, no hidden charges. We take everything you have forever." It was strange that he was wasting his precious selling time on talking nonsense. "Then I want 50 extra years or 4 times more happiness," she joked. "Oh, you could. But I have to warn you, the quality of the years after the standard 25 isn't always as high. I'd go for happiness." He pushed the lift button for her. Of course, it was obvious at this time of day, dressed for work, that she was about to go down. Okay, so her shirt wasn't ironed because she hadn't had time, and her very important-looking briefcase actually contained sandwiches for lunch because she couldn't afford to join her colleagues eating out for lunch. Plus, she worked through her breaks, desperately trying to find extra time for all the work she had to do. One day, she'd get her dream job, just as soon as she knew what that was. Sometimes Victoria felt as if her sister had all the luck in the family. Not only did she run her own award-winning publishing company, she'd married an equally talented man, the gorgeous and funny Peter, whose only fault was not having a twin. Even the way they met sounded like the plot of a film. Charlotte had been having a run of bad luck, ending in a car accident that had threatened to leave her unable to walk. Peter, a new doctor at the hospital, had to perform several risky operations that they had thought wouldn't work, but she was back on her feet within weeks. Even he joked that he hadn't known he was such a good surgeon. He proposed 2 months later. Half a year after the accident, Charlotte had set up her company, and now they lived in the most expensive part of London. Victoria tried not to be jealous of her sister for any of it. Not the husband, not the successful business, not the beautiful house nor their children. But it was a level of happiness that she wished she could taste for herself. Thinking about Charlotte's accident reminded her how impossible it was to know what might happen. "But what if I get run over by a bus tomorrow?" "Then you'll have been blissfully happy for that one day. Time or happiness? I can only offer one. I'm not a miracle worker. That's another company." He winked again. "Well, maybe you should change jobs," she said, and pressed the lift button herself. He shook his head. "I've tried them. Their sales team has quite a different approach. Be miserable now, then happy for eternity. It has its appeal, but honestly, it's a much harder sell." The lift wasn't even moving. She turned towards the stairs. Late didn't begin to describe the time she would get to work, but as she started down the stairs, she suddenly remembered something. Damn, she swore. She hadn't picked up her little niece's birthday presents. There wasn't time to go back and get them now. Angela and Gabriella's perfect birthday party would be -2 messily wrapped presents from their imperfect auntie. One day they'd be old enough to wonder how their mother could be related to Victoria. It's time, isn't it, Victoria? I can always tell, he called after her. Even if I believe this ridiculous stuff you're saying, I don't have time to discuss it with you. She broke off, annoyed with herself for admitting she needed more time, and then let out a little scream as he slid down the banister and suddenly appeared in front of her, floating in the air with his arms and legs crossed. Then it's happiness, he said, scratching one of two little horns that she now noticed on either side of his head. Victoria pulled her hand off the banister and put her other hand against the wall so she wouldn't fall. She caught her nails on the rough bricks, feeling two of them break where they joined the skin. The pain made her scream again, but she didn't stop to look now she was sure who he was. I'm happy enough, thanks, she said, with as much strength in her voice as she could while running down the stairs with two bleeding fingers. Are you happy, Victoria? He asked as he continued sliding down the banister with her. Of course, you love your job, however low paid it is, and never mind the fact your bosses hate you because you're never on time. You'll find the rent somehow, you always do. So resourceful. You can't know that, she shouted. Anyway, money doesn't buy happiness, it's the root of all evil. True, Victoria, true. Very wise. It's love that makes the world go round. Exactly, she said, winning a point finally. 5 more floors to go. I'm sure one day you'll meet someone, he said. I don't need a man to be happy, so if that's all you've got in your happy bag. So wise, Victoria, he continued. So few people realise happiness comes from within, not from material things or other people. I see you're cleverer than many of our customers. 25 years extra then. I can see it in you, Victoria. You won't waste them. 25 on top of what, though? No, 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 he turned the final corner with her. I won't tell you how long you would have lived, because then you'll know how long you've got left. We've tried that before. People just ruin it for themselves. It's in the small print, but I wouldn't read that if I were you. I don't believe in this stuff, or in you. He jumped off the banister and bowed, holding something small and white out to her. Neither did your sister, he said. Not until she had her accident. My card if you change your mind. And he disappeared, leaving Victoria with the card in her hand and her mouth open in shock. That's the end of the story, and that's the author's name there, Nicola Prentice. Thank you for watching and listening. This was Devils in the Detail B2C1 level on the British Council website, as requested by UMissy. I'll finish now as we've been going for a while, but thank you very much indeed. I hope this has been useful and interesting, and you know where to find more stories like that if you want to read them and learn vocabulary. Take care. See you next time.